We're going to make my favorite healthy cookies today that are so simple and only require a few ingredients. I'm going to start with measuring 130 grams of rolled oats. Then we're going to mash 2 ripe bananas. I'm going to mix in 1 egg and the oats. I'm adding a bit of salt. And I'm going to fold in some chocolate chips. This is what they're looking like now, so I'm going to put them in the oven for 13 to 15 minutes or so, and then I'll see you when they are finished. And here they are. I put them in the oven for a little bit longer just because this oven isn't as strong, but just wait until they're nice and golden and then they're perfect and ready to eat. Make sure that you let them cool for a bit, otherwise they might lose their shape. I also really love to do is put these in the fridge and then have them as my little carb source for breakfast. It's very easy, you can just take them with you, but I think it's time for a little taste test. I love these, but remember, they are healthy cookies, so they don't actually taste like cookies. They more so taste like oatmeal bites. If you have the right expectations, they won't disappoint. If you think these taste like sugar cookies, they will disappoint, because they don't, but I love them. To share my game plan for this bulk that I'm currently doing that I just started. I'm on day 2. So for me, I've noticed that usually my bulk should be around 20 weeks in total. I wouldn't go any shorter just because you really want to make significant gains during this period. If you commit yourself to a bulking journey, then you also want to reap maximum results. Otherwise, you could also just stay at maintenance or aim for a bit of a recomp. So 20 weeks, because I've done bulks longer than 20 weeks, but that's when I noticed that I started getting diminishing returns. So my strength wasn't really increasing anymore. I wasn't really that hungry. It was harder for me to keep gaining weight. 20 weeks for me is probably what I'm aiming for now too. In terms of weight gain, I'm aiming to gain around 1 to 2 kgs per month. That for me has been a good ratio of not gaining too much, where I am increasing my body fat percentage without really any reason, and not gaining too little, where I'm leaving gains on the table. So that's kind of my aim. I take my weekly averages and then I just see how my weight is progressing, and I try obviously to increase with my lifts, especially the A series, so the first exercise that I'm doing each session. And then I'm doing the Hourglass program for my app, so I'm focusing on building my shoulders, my back, but also my glutes and my hamstrings, specifically for my legs. And I'm doing the advanced program, which means that every 3 to 4 weeks I have a different phase. Periodization style is different, so that is what I'll be following. I'm very excited for it. And then, as I said in my previous video, regarding my intake, I'm not tracking, I'm not counting. That has worked for me in the past. It's probably not optimal in terms of a bodybuilding perspective, but it is optimal for me from a life perspective, from a mental health perspective. It's like the relationship that I want to have with food. So I just eat a little bit more than what I would normally eat if I were to maintain, and my body is pretty good with maintaining, so that's like easy for me, so I can just like push myself a little bit when it comes to my intake, if that makes sense. So today is day 2 of week number 1, and I'm doing an upper body session where I'm focusing on my shoulders and my back. And I've actually lifted quite heavy things today already because I had to put down the flooring, and it was just by myself and I didn't want to wait, so I had to like change or lift all the dumbbells and then put the racks away and then put the racks back when I laid the floor. So I feel like I've already been lifting quite a bit, so it will be interesting to see how my strength is actually going today, but we'll see in a minute. This exercise for today is the seated Arnold press. I think I do 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps. So I'm going to do a few warm-up sets, and then I'll see you during my actual working set. My unlock when it comes to presses is that you have to see it as a full body movement. So I really noticed a difference in my strength when I fully pressed my feet into the ground. I really put a lot of tension on my core. Like I just transform it into a full body exercise. And then you have a lot of force that you can actually almost like put behind the movement instead of just your shoulders, and it makes the biggest difference. Also, when it comes to shoulder presses, make sure that you don't flare your elbow out. This is just to protect your joint. But with the dumbbell Arnold press specifically, what I try to do is move in a straight line while rotating my hands. And I did the 14 kgs. So I wasn't able to do the upper limit of my rep ranges for all these sets, so I'll be sticking with this weight and then just try to do more reps next time. But it felt more controlled than when I previously did it, so that's already a really good sign. I did the chin up unassisted. Now I'm not able to do 10 to 12 reps. I did a little bit less, but I just really wanted to train them with my body weight. So I kind of did a little bit of a sneaky change up on the schedule, which is not according to plan, which you shouldn't do too often, but I just wanted to try the grips on the hammer strength squat rack. I started seeing the most gains when I really started to view training as a form of art. And I said it before, but when I switched my mindset from just seeing it as a sort of checklist of things to do and then, oh, I hit the 12 reps, like check, next exercise, to really something that is like a skill that you have to practice and try to become better at, and really try to find the muscles that you're trying to target and to perfect your form and to try to make it yourself as difficult as you can. That's like a key thing for me when I started realizing that yes, you can rush through your reps and just do 12 reps and just like let the weight fly up and then not really controlling it down. But if you really see it as a form of art and you really respect almost like the movement that you're doing and like trying to really focus on that muscle that you're targeting when you're moving the weight up and then trying to control the weight down and fight resistance, like I got so much more results when I started doing it like that instead of just doing the checklist. And now there is a time and place for everything, right? Because sometimes, myself included, I'm just busy and I just want to get it over with as quickly as I can, and that's absolutely fine too, because I always say that the workouts that you don't want to do are actually the ones that are most important, because the easy workouts, everyone can do the easy workouts, like they aren't really the ones that determine whether you will be progressing, same as in other areas in your life. It's always when you struggle most is when you'll actually grow and become stronger at it. So sometimes you just want to get it done, and that's absolutely fine. It's part of the process. But for some workouts, you have maybe a little bit more time, you have a little bit more energy. Try to really see it as an art form. Try to really see it as something that you're trying to become better at, a skill that you're crafting, and you'll get so much more results, and therefore you'll really enjoy it more too. Okay, so I just did the chin-ups, and now we're moving on to lateral raises. We did our vertical pull with the chin-ups. Now we're doing a horizontal pull with the chest-supported cable row. When it comes down to training, your back specifically, you can make it really fancy doing exercises like these, like having a bench to support your chest, using cables, using a lot of machines. Like you can make it as crazy as you want to, but basically it comes down to a very simple principle. You either row vertically or you pull vertically or you pull something horizontally, and both allow you to target your back. And then you can obviously use different equipment and use different machines to maybe change resistance path or just to introduce different variables to your training. It can help with optimizing your training, but it's just very simple. Training is very simple. There are different movement patterns. You can train those. You can become better at those. You can build muscle doing those. And whether you have all this equipment available to you, whether you train from home and you only have water bottles, you can still get results and do similar things. You just have to be aware of what it is that you're actually doing. So what we're doing right now is a horizontal pull, and generally speaking, horizontal pulls help with creating that back thickness, whereas vertical pulls are more so for the width of your back. So chest supported, minimizing upper body momentum, keep your elbows in and pull towards your belly button. The final exercise for today is an isolation exercise for the rear delts. Rear delts are part of the back of your shoulder. It's on the back side, obviously. So we're targeting them with face pulls. Also had a bit of rear delt involvement with the chin-ups. So I used a little bit of a lighter weight and then higher reps, just mainly to get some blood flow to my rear delts and get a pump going. And obviously I also trained shoulders with the Arnold press and with the lateral raises, mainly side delts, but that's also a shoulder exercise. So I'm feeling really good about today's workout. I was actually stronger than I anticipated beforehand. I feel like now that I'm a couple days into my bulk, I am just probably mentally feeling very energized and very strong. And maybe also because I have been eating a little bit more carbs that I do have more energy. But I mean, I guess it would usually take a little bit longer for the effect to really kick in. So with my previous two bulks, I think after a week or so, I really felt a difference in all of my lifts. So we'll see how everything is going. But that was it for today's workout, for today's session. Thank you so much for being here, for training with me, for watching the video, and then I'll hopefully see you in the next one. Bye guys.